Greetings, everybody. This is Mark, and today we are chatting with this. We're doing one of our episodes of TM's Tales, where I'm going to be chatting with Gerry, who learnt TM. Well, we'll find out when he learnt. I think it was about a year ago with me in Brighton. So, hi, Gerry. Do you want to just begin by kind of just telling us? Well, firstly, how long ago was it that you learnt? I think it was about a year and a half.
It was about that time. It was the beginning of summer before the last one, and I had been involved in Ayurvedic stuff for a long time. But I was also doing a different meditative practice. And I was feeling a little bit like it wasn't working for me, really. And I happened to go to a business networking event where I met this chap called Marek, who is an Ayurvedic practitioner doing marma therapy, which is like pressure spots. And I found myself talking to him about thinking about my meditative practice. And he said, why don't you try TM? And I thought, okay, I'll give it a go. And that's how I got in touch with you, Mark. And you had a course coming up very soon, which was just in time before I went off to New Zealand for the summer. And so I signed up for the course, did it, and decided I was going to go for this. So that's how, and then I continued doing it while I was on holiday in New Zealand. So that was the start of my TM journey. I did encounter it 30 or so years earlier when I was in Boston in the macrobiotic community, but I didn't really follow it up then.
And what was your interest in learning? What was your motivation?
I wasn't happy, really. I didn't feel centered, and I used to get a lot out of my previous practice. I've been involved in Buddhism for about 30 years, and I guess I was just looking for the thing I would do every day or twice a day that would help me get my life to work better, really, in a lot of ways. And I did immediately begin to feel a lot of benefits. I think I began to feel it easier and do feel it easier to be in the present moment, to kind of feel more at ease with life and less kind of, I have a tendency to be controlling, want to control everything. So, that's still there, but it's helping with that. I'm finding a lot of fortunate synchronicities. Like I'm at home and I think, oh, I need a hyperbolic ergonometer, and I haven't got one. Where am I going to get one? And I walk out of the house. I just made that up, and I bumped into a friend who's just come back from the repair shop with his ergonomic hydrometer, and I borrow it. It's just like things meshing together in a fortunate way on occasion, which is nice. I think it's helping with health, health and well-being, and I think just the feeling of connecting to the bigger picture, connecting with the infinite, that's very satisfying, really. And other things, those are a few plucked out of the air. What did you ask me? I forgot what you asked me.
Did it start working from the get-go, from when you first learned? Did you notice things pretty quickly?
Yeah. Yes. I did.
Okay. And did you find that you've talked correct, commonsensically about, you know, how it's affected you over time in these past, what would be like, 15 months. How about the doing of the meditation itself? How do you find that? Is it something you have to discipline yourself to do, or is it kind of a pleasurable practice to do?
Yeah, well, I mean, I was coming from a background where I would, you know, I'm quite a stubborn person. If I decide to do something, I do it, and I do it very methodically. And rather than thinking, you know, shall I meditate today, I tend to think, I'm going to set up a program, and I have a basic times to meditate, but often I have to vary it, and I just fit it in whatever. Although we'll come to something later that made that more challenging. But so I was kind of, I have that stubborn kind of blanket decision, I call it, making a blanket decision. I do meditation, and I just do it. And I think life works better for that. I think the nice thing is that I find it a very enjoyable practice. It's kind of easy, unless I'm making it hard, you know, when I'm trying to achieve something. I think it's very refreshing to just keep switching off the effort to achieve anything. That's very refreshing and easy and enjoyable. And, you know, odd moments when, you know, something like transcendence may occur, you know, or a bonus. But I do basically enjoy the practice. I do quite a lot of meditating with others. So, you know, mainly through the group you've set up, because I'm near Brighton, and well, you can do it anywhere. But I also enjoy meditating on my own. There's a kind of peaceful serenity whenever, you know, I'm not being distracted by anything. On the other hand, I do enjoy meditating with other people, and I think one of the kind of benefits I feel is that I'm making some kind of contribution through doing this, and through connecting with other people. I'm making some kind of contribution to the way the world is going, and goodness knows it needs it, you know, at the moment.
Yeah.
So being some small part of that is satisfying to me and important to me.
So do you want to talk about the kind of the challenges that you've had in the past 6 months, and how TM has, you know, helped in some way with those challenges?
Yes, I at the beginning of June, back here in England, and when lockdown had happened, I contracted COVID-19, coronavirus, and that has been a big deal, and kind of has turned into long COVID, as they now call it. And so it was very challenging. I was very ill, and I had, the thing is, COVID can produce a deep debilitation, which can leave you open to other things. And I had a series of 3 lung infections, which were each treated with antibiotics, seemingly successfully at first in each case, but then recurring. So the last series, I then brought in Chinese herbs, or herbs as they're known in China, and together with the antibiotics, which was a big, powerful treatment for 2 weeks. So in the middle of that, I was really at a very low ebb and kind of wasting away, because I didn't want to eat and didn't want to drink, and I was becoming quite skeletal. But I did continue to do the meditation in some way, and I think it really made a big difference in holding things together, in not being depressed, in making it a valid experience, and being kind of underlyingly happy being alive, appreciative of being alive. And so it got to the worst in early August, really, when the 3rd infection was happening and was being treated, and the antibiotics produce unpleasant effects, and I had the food distortion as well, and so I just the idea of joining in with a meditation group and hearing other people, just any exposure to anybody, talking to anybody was just not on. I was really not wanting to. I couldn't talk to anybody. I was just coughing incessantly and always out of breath, and so I didn't join in any groups that time. But I would sit up or I would lie, and do 20 minutes. I think sometimes I did it once a day, but I always did it once a day, and there was no question. It just was part of it, and I think it really helped orientate through that period. And now, I'm in now the later stages of recovery, which is a lot about getting back fitness, getting a little fat under my skin, and rebuilding the muscles, that kind of wasted away. So it's going well, but it's a long-lasting thing, and you have to be careful not to overdo things, because it can come back, or aspects of it can come back, so the meditation fits into whatever stage I'm at. I'm now enjoying joining the meditation groups. I sometimes join Marek's monthly meeting, and I'm doing some courses. Of course, things have changed with lockdown. Everything we're doing is online, isn't it? So I'm kind of availing of courses you're doing and some courses they do at the UKTM Centre, all of which helps. Yeah, it's a big advantage to be alive.
Yeah. Do you think, I think, just paraphrasing what you said, do you think it sounds like the meditation helped you kind of stay as upbeat as possible given the circumstances? It stopped you spiraling down into a bit of a despondency. Is that do you think what?
Yes,
what
I think so. I mean, it's never done with that aim, but it's aimless. But I think it definitely has that effect. It's kind of part of how I live, and so there are other things as well as the meditation that help. And I do Ayurvedic way of living and way of being healthy and being taking some medicines and doing, I was already doing yogic practice and alternate nostril breathing and those things. It's all very compatible with TM, because that's where TM came from. It's a very coherent whole. And so I look after myself in lots of other ways, eating wild plants, and it's now about building up exercise and so on. Sure. But it's all part of a coherent whole to me. In many ways, I find myself doing, outside of when I'm meditating, doing some of the things that I do in meditating, like not trying too hard to think of anything in particular, not actually saying the mantra to myself, but like if I wake up at night and can't sleep, I often seem to go into some of the aspects of meditation that enable me to relax and just bring my attention to breathing and being more at ease, and so getting back to sleep. I'd be interested to know what you or others think about that. There seem to be kind of, how would you say, transferable approaches, from meditation that can come into the rest of life in various ways. Would you say that's true?
That's I would say that's part of the way that it works, is that, in a way there's one spontaneously cultures the tendency not to favor negative spirals of thinking, because in meditation that's sort of part, one aspect, and I think that kind of percolates out into your day-to-day by itself spontaneously, because that's what you do in meditation.
Yeah,
I think there's much more to it, but definitely there's, I mean, you use the word transferable. I would say it's spontaneously transferred.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
certain habits of thought. There's much more to it, but definitely those sort of certain sort of mechanics of mental functioning can
yeah.
transfer out spontaneously.
Well, I'm aware I'm a newcomer to this. I suppose we all are newcomers in a way, but
Yeah,
I'm sure the journey will continue and will deepen as time goes on. I
yeah.
don't feel nearly so thrown by, stuff going on in the world, like stuff that's going on, the damage being done to the planet and the hate, the politics of hatred and so on. I think I used to feel very drawn into that and very despondent about it and stressed and so on. And while I still care about it and I still campaign and do what I can, I don't think I'm such a victim of it, really. And I think that's a lot to do with the meditative practice and the things that go
Yeah.
with it.
That's nice because it doesn't mean you're any less like you say that you care any less, but it doesn't get you down, which is a good thing. It's because then you're actually more functional, and you can do some sort of good.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so glad that it seems like you're out of the woods, as it were. And
Near the edge of the woods, I think.
yeah,
I think it's a mistake. It's all about living in the present, because when I got the illness, I thought I had very different plans for the summer. I haven't touched anybody but my wife since, March probably. I haven't done all the things that's going to do. And I think it would have been easy to say, why is this happening to me? I wish this wasn't happening. But I really consciously adopted a policy of being with where I am now, rather than feeling that somehow life will be valid at some time in the future when this goes away. And so that's still true now. I mean, people meet me in the street and say, are you better now? And they want me to be better and they sympathize. But I don't think it works to say, yeah, I'm over it now, because it's a continuum and probably will be, maybe a few years, but there's steady progress. I've had really daily, tiny incremental progress feelings almost all through this, from when I was getting better. And that's what I'm looking for. And that continues to be the case. If each day is better than the day before, I don't need to worry about when it'll all be over. In fact, there's been some incredibly value coming out of the whole experience that I wouldn't have had if I had not had the experience. You can't really regret it. There's some great, I think, getting to know myself better and being more comfortable on my own and seeing my direction in life and seeing what's valuable and just being at ease with nothing happening, because I'm a very busy person who doesn't really enjoy doing nothing, so that's been something I've had to learn to do, really. So there's value in that, probably.
Yeah, definitely. That's great. Well, thanks, Gerry. That's really interesting, and I'm really happy that you are getting better day by day.
Yeah.
And sort of it's that sense of sort of heading in the right direction, not the right direction, but the desired direction.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. Well, thanks, Gerry. I
Thank you for
will.
the opportunity, Mark.
Yeah. It's lovely.